Hashtag Shiba Inu is the top trending search item on Twitter in India, the world's second most populous country. And Y0X, one of the largest exchanges in the country, saying SHIB has overtaken Bitcoin's position as the top traded token in the Indian rupee market this week, generating a volume of $489 million. Joining us now to discuss is Siddharth Menon, co-founder and chief operating officer at Y0X. Hello there, Siddharth. Okay, so
hey, how's it going?
Great. What is the fascination with SHIB? Can you explain this to us?
Okay, I think I'm going to. I was more of a bad cop probably early this year. Been telling people about what is this whole meme coin, and though we did list it because there was a lot of demand coming from people, and I think we did list it early this year. And the way it took off, I think even we were not prepared for it, and it basically brought down our exchange, right? Like the kind of active numbers and the active users that we saw in last 48 hours has actually shocked us, and we were not ready for it. We were all ready for the Bitcoin move, we were never ready for the Shiba Inu move.
How is it being traded on your exchange?
I think people are going. I think it's a community, or there's a lot of interest from people, and I have people pinging me about this token, what it can become, and I was always talking about decentralization of human being and decentralization of everything. Never thought about decentralization of dogs, right? I never thought about that being something that taking over. But I think it's a very it did take us by surprise. But I think now we are going to be more prepared about this. There's a lot of demand that we could see yesterday, and a lot of deposits that's coming in to buy this or trade these tokens. Even our tech team has been just fighting on to just keep Shiba Inu markets live. But it's pretty interesting, to see how this market is evolving.
So what exactly, in terms of that appeal, though? I mean, what does it mean for the people who are trading it? Are these new retail investors who are experimenting in crypto for the first time, and they're taking a dip into SHIB? Is it the fact that it has such a low unit price number that they feel that it's more accessible than other cryptocurrencies, even though it doesn't really make a difference in reality? Is there some sort of psychological reason? What's the appeal that you find, particularly in India?
Yes, I think you're right there about the second part, where it is the cheapest token to buy, and even when it got listed, and I've been seeing in last 6 or 8 days, now and again, you had the SHIB token coming in the first 5 or first 6, and I think in the last 48 hours we saw taking over Bitcoin. But I think it's also the psychologically, a lot of people are new to this market and probably even started with maybe $100 or a very small amount, and their $100 have become something, and that's where the belief has come in, right? That SHIB can do something more for them. And I know a lot of people have cashed out and probably safe now, but I'm not sure how this community is panning out to be. But it's pretty interesting. Like, so far I've been ignoring it, but now I'm getting more interested in trying to understand how this all works. We've been talking about meme coins everywhere, but the way it has sort of picked up is crazy.
Do you see anything in terms of the average transaction size that's different than in other coins? Are you seeing that the average transaction size are actually lower? Are they higher? Is that giving you some indication as to who's actually trading?
Right. The transaction sizes are smaller than compared to Bitcoins. Obviously, Bitcoin has a mix of institutions and many other different types of algo traders. But when it comes to Shiba Inu, we do have people trading big volumes. But essentially, I think when you see the number of people who are trading versus the volume you're doing, I think it's definitely a smaller size there and more retail friendly. And like we just spoke about, right? Probably the price factor which is moving the whole market. because it's easy to deploy $100 versus deploying $1,000 or $10,000. And when you see your $100 becoming $1,000 or even $3,000, it becomes a reality for a lot of people. Then it just started as meme, and the market has played them really well.
Yeah, well, the token was created in August of last year, anonymously under the name Ryoshi. But is there any development going on with SHIB? I mean, are you familiar with the community? Is there any plans to do anything useful with this coin?
I'm now getting interested about it. I'm just now started reading about it. Till now, it was something that was always there, but now the entire team is now curious about how this token works, how meme tokens work. I knew about Dogecoin, back in 2017. I used to have a few of them. Some change money that you would have, probably $100-$200, you would put it, goes big. It's more of a luck. But this one is a little different, the way it has sort of performed. And now is when I just started learning about it, how the community works. There's a very strong community, even in India. I can see, people who been, tweeting to me, telling me about, something like this would happen in next few days. Prepare your exchange. And I was just ignore these things. Right now, probably I should pay more attention and trying to see, warn our team beforehand.
Well, I mean, 50 trillion SHIB was donated earlier this year to the India COVID Relief Fund. Hopefully that is being handled and, benefiting a lot of people there. And I just want to ask you one last question, Siddhartha. And what is the state of crypto and acceptance in the Parliament of India right now?
I think India is also sort of fighting its crypto discussions around what it should be or what it can do. One good thing from a parliament perspective, even the top guys, is they want to give the space for this to develop, and it's more of a sort of like a sandbox right now. And I really hope so those are like positive signals. So there's nothing directly that's against it. But for now, I think the government is trying to figure out how do they put that in a framework where they don't compress it out or they don't stagger it. Rather, let it grow and then later enforce a lot more regulations there. So it's still not very clear. We're waiting for the some big announcement. Should have happened probably a month back. I hope they start with the classification of what crypto is to even begin with. To figure out who would do regulate what. And then from there, we'll see how this goes.